Egotastic FunTime.
Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Egotastic FunTime. I just got done watching the latest chapter of The Mandalorian, The Sin, on Disney Plus, you guys. That's where you watch it. And I have something to say. This is the way you make a Star Wars TV show that not only satisfies lifelong fans of the franchise like me, but also those fans that have grown tired of having this universe dragged back out every couple of years to try and capitalize on name recognition and having the IP plastered on any and every type of product. Those types of fans who, after decades of being sold a bill of goods, have contracted a serious case of Star Wars fatigue. I'm also one of those fans. But The Mandalorian has me excited for Star Wars again, you guys. I want to see where this story goes and how it ends, and I'm having a great time living in this universe. It looks and it feels like Star Wars, but with a twist, and I don't think that excitement is necessarily going to carry over into me fanboying out over the sky of Walkriser, but hey, I'll take what I can get.
They fly now! They fly now!
So today we're going to have a great time talking about Chapter 3 of The Mandalorian, as well as answer a question many of us have been wondering about. What's the Mandalorian's real name? Well, thanks to Pedro Pascal, I'm going to reveal the answer to that question in just a little bit. In this episode, we catch back up with the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. Everyone wants a piece of Baby Yoda. Well, the Mandalorian, they make it back. He makes it back to the planet, to that town where he picked up the bounty from the client, played by Werner Herzog. We, the viewer, are getting this feeling like, hey Manny, you cannot give Baby Yoda over to these guys. These are some imperialist douchebags, and they're going to do something shady, okay? They're going to do something shady with Baby Yoda, and we don't know exactly what they're going to do, but we can kind of guess what's going to happen. But he gives over Baby Yoda to the client, but he does ask, hey, what are you going to do with the kid?
You have taken both commission and payment. Is it not the code of the guild that these events are now forgotten?
So the Mandalorian does step off. He takes his bounty, which is, this ice cream maker full of Beskar metal. So he takes that to the foundry, to the Mandalorian hideout, to get his armor upgraded. It's like a video game. Whatever happened, however Manny became an orphan, he became a foundling, he lost his parents to some sort of invasion. We see this crazy beefed up droid trooper, like a super duper droid trooper. I'm kind of not feeling the flashback scenes. Those are the actual scenes that I'm like, I'm not really emotionally connected. They do seem kind of cheesy. But the Mandalorian, Manny, is having regrets. He was asking about what they were going to do with Baby Yoda, because through his experiences, what little time he's had with Baby Yoda, and I'm thinking Baby Yoda kind of sensed right off the bat that the Mandalorian was a good guy, that overall was going to eventually help him. That's part of his little force power, That's why he didn't take him out when he first came across him, because Baby Yoda is flush with the Force, you guys. We don't know why the Mandalorians are in hiding. We don't know what happened with any of that stuff. I'm hoping we get answers to those questions later. There's also a Mandalorian hideout. There's like a whole tribe of them, a whole clan of them right there in that city. For some reason, Manny is different than the rest of them, and I don't know why. Could it be that Manny actually isn't a legit Mandalorian from Mandalore, that he was a foundling? I'm guessing maybe in the next flashback scene, now that his parents have been killed, that we'll actually see him get found by a bunch of Mandalorians. And so maybe he's, he wasn't born a Mandalorian, but he took up the ways of a Mandalorian. He chose this life. And then that beefy Mandalorian, who's so Mandalorian he doesn't even know how Mandalorian he is.
Our world was shattered by the Empire, with whom this coward shares tables.
So there's some sort of honor going on, a code that for some reason, we don't know why, Manny, in their eyes, has not lived up to. And they also don't like the fact that he did this bounty for the Empire. They hate the Empire for some reason. The Empire had something to do with the Great Purge, which we haven't learned about yet. So after Manny gets his new armor, he shows up like a pimp in heat to the bounty hunter's bar with Carl Weathers there, and he's there to pick up his next bounty. He wants all the bounties he can get. At first I was wondering if there's going to be a repercussion with IG-11 from the first episode, because IG-11 and Manny both agreed to take in the bounty together to pool their resources, but Manny took out IG-11 when IG-11 was going to shoot Baby Yoda and take it in dead as opposed to alive. For some reason Manny could not have that, so he took down IG-11. I was wondering if there's going to be any repercussions from that, but it doesn't matter, because all the bounty hunters, once Manny made that decision to go back, as we knew he would, to save Baby Yoda, but now all the bounty hunters are after him anyway. I love that we got to see, he got his upgrades for his weapons, right? He got those whistling birds, which are these cool little, I don't know, little Mandalorian hunter darts. Now, we still do not know exactly what the client, or Dr. Pershing rather, who I think the client represented, or who was working with the client's client, I have no idea. Dr. Pershing, as we know, has something to do with cloning. We could tell from his patch on his arm, which in this episode we got a much clearer look at. It's definitely the same symbol that was worn by the clones in the Clone Wars, in the prequel movies, which we don't like to talk about very often, but we have to kind of bring it up here. We don't know if he wants to clone Baby Yoda, or if Baby Yoda already is a clone that escaped and they were wanting to bring him back. But for some reason, they don't even need Baby Yoda alive. They just need to extract something that is inside of him. I don't know if they're referring to midi-chlorians. If they are, I hope they never use the word midi-chlorian. That would be really great. Jon Favreau, I'm sure, knows not to ever use that word, please and thank you. So they need to extract material from Baby Yoda, I'm guessing to make more Baby Yodas, or to clone that material, to replicate that material and put it into troopers. So maybe they can give the Force to people. I have no idea what the ultimate goal is here, but I'm sure it has something to do with bringing back the Empire. Now the Mandalorian, he has Baby Yoda in his possession. This awesome Western, classic Western shootout with all the Western shootout tropes from any famous Western movie you can think of. He has to fight the entire town because the entire town are bounty hunters and they're all after him. So he has this huge standoff. They're shooting it, they're shooting at each other. He jumps into this wagon, a chuck wagon.
Try!
Stuck there, he's with the baby, he's taken out as many as he could, disintegrating fools that are up in the balconies and whatever, shooting at him, but he is done for. He is not going to make it. And brownie points to any of you out there who can name the 1992 movie that also featured this giant shootout with the hero holding a baby the entire time. Brownie points are meaningless, but they are your brownie points. So just when it looks like the jig is up, he's not going to be able to go any further, the rest of those Mandalorians from earlier that were disrespecting him, they show up to save the day. They fly in on their jetpacks and they just start taking fools out. And the big Jon Favreau Mandalorian has got this awesome like turret style gun, and he's just like gatlining fools all over the place. And apparently now that Manny decided to do the honorable thing and rescue this child that he took in as a bounty, now the other Mandalorians are like, okay, that's honorable. We're going to help this dude. He is one of us now because he has proven himself by doing the honorable things, which is nice to know because now we know the Mandalorians are basically good guys. Manny and Baby Yoda are able to make it to the ship, to the Razor Crest, but we do have Carl Weathers there waiting to ambush us and hold us at gunpoint and take the baby from Manny. which of course didn't work out because Manny's a badass, you guys. He did some shenanigans and he shot Carl Weathers, left him for dead. But my question is, I know for a fact earlier in the episode when Manny was was getting his next bounty and Carl Weathers said, "Hey, I'm rich too," and he took out his little Beskar medal. Did he purposely shoot where he knew those bars were in order to take Carl Weathers out but not kill him, or was it all just happenstance? It could go either way. I know we're getting the new Obi-Wan series coming out on Disney Plus. I'm hoping we're getting some even more Star Wars television series coming out, live action, because Jon Favreau has proven that it's very successful. So as long as they're making money, which they will, because as soon as those Baby Yoda toys come out, Star Wars is going to be making a ton of money. Everybody's going to be buying Baby Yoda stuff. I'm going to buy Baby Yoda stuff. It was kind of nice to see Manny humanized a little bit in this episode, especially at the end when they're on the ship, they've made their escape, and Baby Yoda is there reaching for that little knob on the console, and the Mandalorian unscrews it and hands it to him as a little toy to play with. And of course, as everyone is talking about right now, this episode of The Mandalorian actually had the very first Marvel/Star Wars crossover event when Iron Man showed up. Chapter 3, The Sin, is definitely a turning point for this series. It was fast-paced, it was action-packed, it was story-packed, and it had me, like I said, at the edge of my seat. And actually, it clocked in about 5 minutes longer than the previous episode. FYI, this episode was directed by Deborah Chow, who will also be directing the entirety of the upcoming Obi-Wan series, which is really cool. This is the first episode that refers to the New Republic, which Manny seems to dislike just as much as the Empire. The New Republic is only like 5 years old at this point in the timeline, and I'm guessing not being respected by our hero kind of foreshadows the Republic being eventually taken over by the First Order later down the road. The Mandalorian, since episode 1 as a series, presents a lot of questions about the Star Wars universe, and even though this first season is only 8 episodes long, the show isn't in any hurry to give us the answers to those questions, like what's the Great Purge? How did the client survive the fall of the Empire? What does the client want with Baby Yoda? Who is the Mandalorian and what is he fighting for? What is the Mandalorian's name? Well, actually, thanks to Pedro Pascal, I do know the answer to that last question.
The Mandalorian, whose name is Din Djarin,
Hey gang, are you ready to show off your sweet love for both the Orville and Star Trek? Stop by Egotastic Tees to pick up the all-new Seth Trek Retro Tee today. Okay, that's it. I have spoken. That's all I wanted to talk about today, and I talked about it. How about you? What did you think of Chapter 3 of The Mandalorian? Did Manny atone for his sin? Is Baby Yoda a 50-year-old clone connected to the Star Wars prequels? I don't know. I need to know. You can let me know what you think by joining the conversation below. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and supporting my stupid show. And a very special thanks to all you Egotastic patrons out there for all your support each month on Patreon. I'll see you very soon, and as always, I hope all your times are Egotastic fun times. Love you, bye-bye.
If you liked JP's video and want to help Egotastic FunTime grow, click on the Patreon link and give him all your money today.
Egotastic FunTime, we're gonna have a great time. Egotastic FunTime, give me all your money. Give him all your money. You will find it funny. Just give me money. I love money. Give him all your money. Give him all your money. Give me all your money! Give me all your money!